Senior, imagine this. You cross the age of 60, and one morning you realize your body no longer responds the way it once did. Movements feel heavier, recovery takes longer, and strength that seemed steady for decades now fades more quickly than you ever expected. This is not simply age. It is the body quietly signaling that repair is falling behind. Now, picture waking up instead with muscles that feel steadier, joints less stiff, and energy that feels renewed. Not because you spent more hours at the gym, not because you invested in expensive powders or trendy pills, but because of two simple vitamins, taken at the right time, that work with your body during the hours it naturally repairs itself. I am Dr. Jonathan Hale, and I have spent more than 30 years working with older adults, guiding them through the challenges of staying strong, resilient, and independent. Over those years, I have seen one truth again and again. It is not just what you take, but when you take it, that determines whether your body rebuilds overnight or breaks down further. You have probably heard the buzz around magnesium. Yes, it can calm the nervous system and may help with sleep. But magnesium alone will not rebuild your muscles. Relaxation is not enough. For true recovery, your body needs the actual building blocks and the activators that switch on the machinery of repair. Without them, your sleep may be long but not restorative. With them, every night becomes a hidden opportunity for renewal. Tonight, I will share the two vitamins that do exactly this. Vitamins that influence protein synthesis, activate hormones, and drive the repair of microtears created by daily movement and exercise. These are not exotic substances, and they are not rare. But used in the right way, at the right time, they can turn your sleep into the most powerful recovery tool you have. Before we reveal them, let's set the stage. Sleep is not passive rest. It is the true anabolic window. When growth hormone rises, testosterone is balanced, and cortisol falls. This is the moment when your muscles receive the message to repair, when fibers knit back stronger, and when resilience is restored. If you miss this chance, you leave strength behind every single night. But if you prepare your body, the results can be dramatic. Stay with me until the end, because I will outline a simple nightly protocol you can try immediately. And I would like to hear from you. Share your age and location in the comments, so we can build a community of people committed to staying strong together. Like this video, share it with a friend who may need it, and subscribe so you never miss these strategies. Now, let's begin with the first vitamin, one that is often thought of only for bones, but in truth acts more like a hormone, flipping on the very genes that let your muscles grow back stronger. I am talking about vitamin D. When most people hear about vitamin D, they think of sunlight or brittle bones. But the truth is, vitamin D is far more than that. It sits inside your muscle cells like a master switch. When enough is present, your body can repair, rebuild, and even strengthen muscle tissue while you sleep. Without it, the signals that tell your muscles to grow are weak and incomplete. Here is the part most people overlook. Your body does the majority of its muscle repair at night. Deep sleep is not just rest. It is an anabolic window. During those hours, growth hormone is pulsing, cortisol is low, and your body is ready to turn the protein you ate during the day into new, resilient fibers. But imagine if that window opens and the room is dark, the machinery unplugged. That is what happens when vitamin D is missing. The signal is there, but the power is not switched on. Let me tell you about Maria, a 72-year-old retired schoolteacher. She stayed active, walking every day and joining a light exercise class twice a week. But she told me she felt her muscles were always sore, her legs weak, and she kept stumbling on curbs. Blood tests revealed her vitamin D was well below the optimal range. After 3 months of daily vitamin D, 3 taken with her evening meal, Maria noticed she was steadier on her feet and her soreness was cut in half. She told me, "It feels like my body finally uses the exercise I am doing." The science supports her story. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism in 2015 showed that older adults with healthy vitamin D levels had significantly stronger muscles and fewer falls compared to those who were deficient. Another paper in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research in 2017 found that supplementing with vitamin D reduced the risk of sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, by almost 40%. These are not small numbers. They show how powerful this vitamin can be for anyone past midlife. So, how much do you actually need? For most adults, 1,000 to 2,000 international units per day is considered a safe and effective range. If blood tests show a deficiency, your doctor may recommend 2,000 to 4,000 IU daily for a period of time until your levels normalize. The key is consistency, not high doses all at once. Vitamin D is fat-soluble, meaning your body absorbs it much better if you take it with food that contains healthy fat. That is why I often recommend pairing it with dinner, perhaps salmon with olive oil, or even a small handful of nuts. Taking it at night lines up perfectly with the repair processes that happen while you sleep. Now you may ask, why not just rely on sunlight? Sunlight is the best natural source, but many people, especially older adults, spend most of their time indoors or live in regions where the sun angle is too low for much of the year. Sunscreen, while important for skin protection, also blocks vitamin D production. And as we age, our skin simply produces less. That is why deficiency is so widespread, even in sunny climates. Think of vitamin D as the quiet strength behind the scenes. It does not shout. It does not make you feel different immediately. But each night it is there, ensuring the signals for repair are received, the protein is turned into new fibers, and your muscles are ready for the day ahead. Without it, you may feel as if you are working hard, but not seeing results. With it, the effort you put in during the day is fully cashed in at night. If you are over 60, maintaining steady vitamin D is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to protect your independence. It is not about bodybuilding. It is about standing from a chair without struggle, walking with confidence, and keeping your balance when the ground is uneven. These are the victories that keep you living on your own terms. So tonight, if your dinner includes healthy fat, consider adding your vitamin D supplement. Pair it with a food source like salmon, sardines, or egg yolk. Over time, you may be surprised how much stronger you feel, not just in the gym but in the rhythm of daily life. And here is where the story gets even more interesting, because while vitamin D flips the switch on the repair machinery, there is another nutrient that keeps that machinery running smoothly. Without it, vitamin D cannot fully do its job. Let's talk about zinc. If vitamin D is the switch that powers up your muscle repair at night, zinc is the set of tools that makes the repair actually happen. It is one of the most overlooked nutrients, yet it quietly supports more than 300 enzymes that are responsible for healing tissue, producing energy, and guiding hormones. Think of zinc as the craftsman working alongside the construction crew in your body. Without enough of it, the orders from growth hormone and testosterone simply cannot be carried out. The workers are ready, the blueprints are there, but the tools are missing. That is why so many older adults who eat well and exercise still feel their muscles recover slowly. The tools they need are not there. Let me share the story of Robert, a 68-year-old retired mechanic. Robert was proud of keeping active, yard work, light weightlifting, even helping his grandson with baseball practice. Yet he complained that his muscles felt sore for days after the smallest effort, and his strength was slipping away. Tests showed his zinc levels were low. We added a daily zinc supplement, 20 milligrams with dinner. Within a month, he told me he was no longer aching all the time. "It's like my body finally remembers how to bounce back," he said. The science confirms this. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2013 found that adults with low zinc levels had 40% slower rates of muscle protein synthesis compared to those with adequate zinc. Another trial from the University of Michigan followed 120 zinc-deficient older adults for 12 weeks. Those who received 20 milligrams of zinc daily improved their protein synthesis by 34% and recovered from exercise nearly 40% faster. These are dramatic differences, and they show just how critical zinc is for overnight repair. Why is deficiency so common? Around 40% of seniors worldwide are estimated to have inadequate zinc. The reasons are simple. Zinc is not stored well in the body. Modern diets often rely on processed foods low in minerals, and absorption decreases with age. Medications like acid blockers, which many older adults take, further reduce zinc uptake. So even if you eat meat or seeds here and there, your body may not be absorbing enough. Zinc plays several roles at night. It is required for the release and proper function of testosterone and growth hormone. These are the very signals that tell your muscles, repair and grow. Without zinc, those signals weaken. Zinc also helps shuttle amino acids, the building blocks of protein, directly into your muscle cells. Imagine delivering wood and bricks to a construction site. Without delivery, the workers are left empty-handed. That is exactly what happens if zinc is low. Practical advice is straightforward. Most adults over 60 benefit from 15 to 30 milligrams of zinc per day. Taking it with your evening meal allows it to align with the hormonal surge of deep sleep. But one caution: avoid taking zinc at the same time as very high doses of calcium or iron, as they compete for absorption. If you take those supplements, space them a few hours apart. Food sources are excellent as well. Oysters are the richest natural source, followed by beef, pumpkin seeds, and cashews. But even with a good diet, many seniors still fall short. That is why supplementation can be so valuable. One point worth stressing is safety. More is not better. Extremely high doses of zinc can interfere with copper balance and even weaken immunity. Stay within the recommended 15 to 30 milligrams unless your doctor advises otherwise. When zinc levels are steady, the results are not dramatic overnight, but they are steady and powerful. Less soreness after exertion, stronger grip, better healing from small injuries. These add up to resilience. They keep you doing the things you love, whether that is gardening, playing with grandchildren, or simply walking confidently without fear of falling. Robert's case is just one example, but I see it again and again in older adults. Once zinc is corrected, recovery becomes natural again. Muscles stop feeling like fragile tissue and begin to feel dependable, the way they once did. So here is the takeaway. Vitamin D may light up the repair factory at night, but without zinc, the workers cannot do their jobs. The switch is flipped, but the tools are missing. That is why these two nutrients belong together, not apart. And that brings us to the next piece of the story. What happens when vitamin D and zinc work side by side? Because separately, they are powerful, but together they form a partnership that amplifies repair in a way neither can do alone. When we look at vitamin D and zinc separately, the science is already compelling. But the real breakthrough comes when you understand how these two nutrients interact. They are not just partners, they are interdependent. One activates the signal, the other provides the tools. Without both, the process of muscle repair at night is incomplete. Here is how it works. Vitamin D, once inside the body, does not act immediately. It must be converted into its active form, known as calcitriol. That conversion requires enzymes that are zinc-dependent. In other words, without zinc, much of the vitamin D you consume stays in storage, unable to flip on the genes that drive muscle protein synthesis. Zinc is the spark plug that turns vitamin D from a raw material into a working hormone. On the other side of the equation, vitamin D creates the hormonal environment that allows zinc's enzyme-driven processes to operate at full power. D helps regulate testosterone and growth hormone at night, both of which are essential for muscle repair. Once those signals are in place, zinc-dependent enzymes do the heavy lifting, shuttling amino acids, repairing microtears, and rebuilding fibers. It is like a well-run factory. Vitamin D turns on the lights and assigns the shifts, while zinc hands the workers the tools and makes sure the machinery runs smoothly. Let me give you a real-world example. A patient of mine, Elaine, age 72, was diligent about her health. She walked every morning, ate balanced meals, and even took a daily vitamin D supplement. Yet she complained of weakness, slow recovery, and sore muscles that lingered. Tests revealed her zinc levels were low. Once she added a modest 20 mg zinc supplement with dinner, the difference was striking. "It's like the vitamin D I was taking finally started working," she said. Within 2 months, her grip strength improved, and her soreness faded more quickly after activity. Research backs this up. A 2018 paper in BMC Medicine found that individuals with both low vitamin D and low zinc had significantly higher risks of muscle weakness and functional decline than those with adequate levels of both. The combination deficiency magnified the problem. Conversely, those who corrected both nutrients saw the greatest improvements in muscle function. Another study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted that magnesium alone, often touted as the key to recovery, showed improvements mainly in relaxation and sleep quality. Important, yes, but magnesium did not significantly improve muscle protein synthesis the way vitamin D and zinc together did. This comparison is crucial. Magnesium plays a supporting role. It can calm your nervous system and help you drift into sleep. But if your goal is to actually rebuild muscle tissue overnight, the starring roles belong to vitamin D and zinc. They are the ones that flip the genetic switches and activate the enzymes that make repair possible. Think of magnesium as the bed that helps you rest, while D and zinc are the carpenters rebuilding your house while you sleep. Without them, you wake up rested but not restored. So the message is clear. It is not enough to take one or the other. Vitamin D without zinc leaves the signal unfulfilled. Zinc without vitamin D leaves the tools unused. Together, they form a complete cycle: signal and response, light and action, switch and builders. In the next section, we will bring this down to earth by looking at where to find these nutrients naturally in your food and how to build smart evening habits that let you maximize their benefits. Because supplements can help, but food and routine are where lasting progress begins. When it comes to supporting your muscles overnight, the strongest foundation always begins with food. Supplements can help, but nature already gives us remarkable sources of both vitamin D and zinc if we know where to look. For vitamin D, fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel are among the richest options. Just one serving of salmon at dinner can provide several hundred international units of vitamin D, far more than most people get in a typical day. Egg yolks, liver, and fortified dairy products add to this foundation. Pairing these foods with a source of healthy fat, like olive oil, avocado, or nuts, further boosts absorption, since vitamin D is fat-soluble. Zinc, on the other hand, is abundant in foods that are often overlooked in a modern diet. Oysters are by far the most concentrated source, but beef, Chicken thighs, pumpkin seeds, cashews, and even lentils can provide meaningful amounts. A small handful of pumpkin seeds after dinner delivers a surprising zinc boost, along with magnesium and healthy fats. Here's a simple dinner template: grilled salmon with roasted vegetables, drizzled with olive oil, served with a side of quinoa, topped with pumpkin seeds. Or, for variety, scrambled eggs with spinach and mushrooms cooked in butter, followed by a small portion of cashews in the evening. These meals not only taste good, but they align directly with your body's nighttime repair cycle. Smart habits can magnify these nutritional choices. Aim for at least 20 to 30 minutes of daylight exposure earlier in the day to stimulate natural vitamin D production in the skin. Then, in the evening, give yourself a 60 to 90-minute wind-down routine before bed. Dim the lights, avoid screens, and prepare your body for restorative sleep. Taking your vitamin D with dinner and your zinc closer to bedtime fits seamlessly into this rhythm. By combining food-first strategies with these small lifestyle adjustments, you set the stage for your muscles to rebuild more effectively every night. So, what happens when you consistently support your recovery with vitamin D and zinc? The benefits go far beyond simply waking up less sore. One of the most overlooked outcomes is immune strength. After strenuous activity, or even just the stress of daily life, your immune system can be temporarily weakened. Vitamin D acts like a master switch, coordinating immune responses, while zinc fuels the very white blood cells that fight infections. Together, they keep you healthier, meaning fewer colds, fewer interruptions to your exercise or daily routines, and more consistent progress over time. Consistency is everything. Research published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society in 2021 showed that older adults with adequate vitamin D levels had significantly fewer sick days and better grip strength over a 12-month period compared to those who were deficient. Another study from the University of Michigan highlighted that zinc supplementation improved muscle protein synthesis by more than 30% in older adults who had previously been deficient. These aren't abstract numbers. They translate into real-world strength, steadier balance, and a reduced risk of falls. Let me give you an example. One of my patients, a 72-year-old man who had always prided himself on staying active, came to me frustrated. He walked every morning, ate his protein, and tried to keep up with his grandchildren, but he noticed his legs were growing weaker, and recovery after simple chores took longer. We checked his levels and found he was low in both vitamin D and zinc. After 3 months of adjusting his diet, salmon twice a week, pumpkin seeds as a nightly snack, and supplementing modest doses of both nutrients, he reported something simple but powerful. I can get up from the chair without using my arms again. That kind of regained independence is worth more than any number on a lab test. When you bring these nutrients together in a thoughtful routine, you are not only supporting muscle repair, you are protecting your immune system, ensuring that you can keep showing up for the activities you enjoy, and safeguarding your independence as you age. In the end, the payoff is more than strength. It's freedom, resilience, and the ability to keep living on your own terms. Let's bring everything together. You've seen now that the gym may spark the process, but the real rebuilding happens while you sleep. And it only happens if your body has the right tools on board. Vitamin D acts like the master switch, turning on the genes and hormones that drive muscle repair. Zinc is the builder, activating the enzymes that stitch those fibers back together and make them stronger than before. One without the other leaves the job half done. Together, they transform your nights into the most powerful training sessions you'll never remember. Here's a simple nightly protocol you can follow starting tonight. With your evening meal, include a source of healthy fat, like olive oil, avocado, or nuts, and take your vitamin D, ideally 1,000 to 2,000 IU, or up to 4,000 IU if your doctor has confirmed you're deficient. Then, about an hour before bed, take 15 to 30 milligrams of zinc with water or a light snack. Avoid pairing it with high doses of calcium or iron, since they compete for absorption. That's it. 2 small steps that fit seamlessly into your evening routine, and yet they can shift the way your body repairs itself in profound ways. Now imagine the payoff 30 days from today. You wake up with less stiffness, more strength in your grip, and more confidence in your balance. You notice you can keep up with your walks, your gardening, even play with your grandchildren without that constant soreness slowing you down. Over time, it's not just about muscle. It's about energy, resilience, and holding on to your independence. So here's my invitation. For the next month, put this into practice. Give your body vitamin D and zinc at the time it needs them most. Then pay close attention each morning to how you feel. And I'd love for you to join our community of older adults who are refusing to surrender to age. Share your age, your location, and which of these 2 nutrients you'll be starting with tonight. Like this video if it gave you new insight, share it with a friend who might need the same boost, and subscribe so you never miss the strategies that keep you strong. Every night is an opportunity. Use it wisely and wake up stronger.